Hey, it's James here from goodguitarist.com, and today I'm going to show you how to read a chord symbol in less than 5 minutes. So this is a chord diagram, and basically it's just a picture of your guitar's fretboard if you were to stand up your guitar like this. Now, as to why they're written that way, I have no clue, but that's the way that every single person writes it. The lines, those vertical lines, those represent the strings. So if you look from left to right, it's like the thickest string is on the left, then they get thinner. And then the horizontal lines, those are the frets. The very top line that's called the nut of the guitar. And then you just kind of have to count from there. You know, you can press your finger anywhere in this box. That's the first fret. Anywhere in this box is the second fret, and so on. And the first thing that I want you to do is make sure that you can kind of orient it, you know, when you look at it that way, and figure out how it goes on your guitar. Now, from your perspective, you know, you just take your chord symbol like that, and then you just flip it in your head that way, and now you can make the shape. And I have an ebook that's totally free. It goes over how to read a chord symbol, all the most common chord shapes, strumming patterns, how to put it all together, you know, all the stuff that you need to get started on guitar. So afterwards, I recommend getting that just so you have some written materials to go with this lesson. Now we're going to figure out where to put our fingers. Taking a look at this chord diagram, you can see there's a dot on the fretboard, and that dot goes over one of the strings. So the first thing I want you to do is figure out which string it's on. In this case, it's on the second string. We count from the thinnest one. So the thinnest string is the first string, and then we go to the second string, and that's our string. Now we take a look at which fret, and in this case, it's right there at the top on the first fret, and that's where we would put our finger. We're using our first finger to hold it. That's our index finger. So we're going to put a 1 underneath the diagram. And really quick, your fingers are numbered like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's add one more finger to our shape. You know, right now we have our first finger on the first fret of the B string. And this next dot, we can see it's on the 1, 2, 3 strings over. It's on the third thinnest string, also called the G string. And it's at the second fret, so 1, 2. And if you look underneath, it has the number 2, which means we're going to be using our second finger, which is our middle finger. We have to add one more finger to complete our shape. And in this case, we can see there's a dot on the thinnest string, all the way on the right, at the second fret, and underneath it, it has the number 3. So first string, second fret, and we're using our third finger. When we put that all together, we get a D7 chord. And I'm just going to write that at the top of our symbol here. So it's a D7 chord. I've labeled it D7. And there's still one major element missing. At the top of the symbol, you'll see some X's and O's. An X means don't strum this string. So in this case, our thickest string and the A string, we're not going to strum. We can either mute them by lightly touching them with our thumb in this case, or just by avoiding them as we're strumming. But you'll see the next one has an O over top. And that means play this string open. Open means you're not pressing it, but you still pluck it. And there's nothing over top of the ones that we're pressing because it's obvious that you're going to be playing those, or else why would you be pressing them in the first place, right? So we don't need any instructions. The X's and O's are basically just to tell you what to do with the strings that you're not pressing down on. Now, there's a couple other things that you might encounter when you come across some chord symbols. One of them is a number on the side like that. And let's say our chord is way up here. So we're at like the 8th and 9th frets here. And if we wanted to draw that on a chord symbol the traditional way, it would be really tall, you know, and it's kind of a waste of paper. It's a waste of time writing that down. So what people do is they put a number beside the diagram saying, hey, that's the fret we're on. So in this case, you can see that it says the number 8, and that means that this finger right here is on the 8th fret. You know, it's kind of just telling me that, oh, we're up here on the fretboard instead. Really, really simple. The other thing you'll see is a line like this covering a bunch of strings, and that's a bar. That's where you're putting your finger down, covering up multiple strings. So in this case, we're barring the top 5 strings. Our thickest string is muted because there's an X over it. You know, and you can see that in the symbol. There's just like all those strings are covered by that finger, by that first finger. Sometimes the bar won't be written in, it would look more like this, and you just have to know. But the cool thing about guitar is you have lots of time to learn all these new chords. Pick a simple tune, learn some simple chords, and take it from there. Anyways, that's all I have to show you today. If you want further help, I have a free ebook that contains detailed instructions on how to read a chord diagram, just like we went over today, as well as all the basic chord shapes, the most common strumming patterns, how to put it all together. There's a bunch of free video tutorials that go with it that'll help you actually practice this stuff. So please check that out if you'd like any further help. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.